you had quite the health scare to kick off this past season regarding the stomach ulcer. So what exactly happened there?
Uh, yeah, it was our last exhibition game. I didn't really feel for some reason I felt really tired and fatigued in the first half, and that's something that since my freshman year I always played a lot of minutes, and something that I'd never really experienced. I was kind of known, I guess, as a guy that never looked tired or anything like that, but I was super pale. Something I just knew was wrong, so I came out, didn't play the second half, got an eval done the next day, and everything looked fine.
Mhm.
And so we flew out to California for our first Division I game against Cal Poly. Practiced, kind of felt the same, but expected to play the next day. And then that night I couldn't fall asleep. Tried to make it to the bathroom, didn't make it. I remember because I felt like I was super nauseous and started to sweat and get super hot. And so I laid on the floor to try to like cool off because the floor was cold. It was just like tiles. I just laid my head down on the floor. And I started shaking, couldn't really move, I guess.
Mhm.
And then I threw up. It was completely dark. So I didn't really know what it like looked like, I guess. But it was blood, a lot of blood. And I laid there. I couldn't move. I called, luckily, thank God that I had a roommate,
Mhm.
Willie Guy, and he got up and kind of sprung to action, got our trainer in there. And yeah, it was a very scary experience. There was probably, I don't know, 10 people in our hotel room with EMTs and stuff like that, firefighters and whatnot, but they got me onto the stretcher, got me to the hospital. I had a stomach ulcer. I had lost a little bit more than half my blood.
Mhm.
Um, and they found that out that I had an ulcer and were able to give me some fluids. But yeah, it was a very scary experience. But to be honest, something that I'm like totally grateful for because it just gave me a whole different perspective on life. And working with the Landon's Life Foundation, I was in the moment when I was on the stretcher, I thought about two kids. Those the only people that I thought about because I didn't know what was happening with my body. I didn't know if I was going to see tomorrow. But I just thought about like what they would do in this situation. And that was one of my good friends now, Blake, who's I believe he's 9 or 10 years old now, but he has a little condition. But I'm super close with him and his mom, and then obviously Landon. And I just thought about what they would do, and they kind of gave me strength when I guess I thought I had none. But that's something that I've always kind of felt like was a full circle moment. And I believe that God kind of puts people in your lives or in our lives at the right time. And no matter if it's a really good experience or a bad experience, it's you can learn from it. And there's a reason behind it.
Mhm.
Um, so just thinking about them, and it was probably about another month before I could play again. But my hemoglobin got as low as 7.1. So
Mhm.
I had to have a blood transfusion and 2 iron infusions. So crazy experience. Never want it to happen again, but totally grateful for it.